Hello! Today we will be introducing the basic shapes, forms, and fundamentals of gymnastics with the help of Vicky. Vicky is a virtual image coaching implement, and she's an excellent tool for coaches to demonstrate body positions to gymnasts. If you don't have Vicky in your gym or at home, follow the link below to order one now. Ready? Let's go! There are 5 basic floor body forms that we're going to talk about today. Flat back, hollow, tight arch, push-up position, and tight hollow. First up, flat back. The flat back or layout position is a building block for all the other shapes we learn in gymnastics. It may look pretty simple, but you're not just laying there. You're squeezing all your muscles, pointing your toes, and staying as straight, long, and tight as you can. Your body should be so tight that your coach can lift you to your feet without you breaking shape. It's harder than it looks. A hollow position is achieved by laying on your back, pressing your spine into the ground, and using your core to lift your arms and feet slightly off the ground. Your body should make an open C shape. A common mistake you'll see gymnasts do is have a slight arch in their back when they attempt the hollow position. This is a sign of a weak core. Try building more ab work into your conditioning routine to enable the gymnast to use their ab muscles to pull the arms and legs up and push the spine into the floor. The hollow position is one of the most important positions in gymnastics. We see it on every event, from tap swings on bars to punching the board on vault. A good hollow body is the key to not just great gymnastics, but safe gymnastics. Next up is the tight arch. For our little gymnasts, sometimes we call it super gymnast. This position is done by lying face down and lifting your arms and legs slightly off the ground. Sometimes you'll see beginner gymnasts bend their knees to try to make this shape. This is a sign of weak back muscles. Encourage your gymnasts to squeeze their shoulder blades and their booties as tight as they can to lift their limbs rather than bending to achieve the position. The push-up position is important for more than just push-ups. It's a key shape used on the uneven bars for kips, casts, clear hips, and more. What you look for in this shape is the shoulders directly above the hands in a straight line from shoulders to toes. The core should be engaged at all times. The tight hollow is when you maintain the hollow shape we created earlier while facing down. It's much more challenging than our other basic positions, but it's a good indicator of where your strengths and weaknesses are. There needs to be a smooth, long arch from your hands to your feet. Next up, levers. Levers are the building blocks for a proper entry into every basic tumbling skill in gymnastics. Start with a strong lunge. Feet should be planted firmly with the front knee bent slightly and the body leaning forward. Lever your body forward in one controlled movement. Straighten your front knee to make the T shape we're looking for, with a long straight line from your toes to your hands. Lever back up with your toe pointed behind you and your chest and armpits open. Finish in a strong lunge, again with your feet planted firmly and your chest and armpits open. The pike position is when you bend your body at the hips and reach for your toes with your legs together and straight. This can be done as a standing pike or a sitting pike. If you struggle with this position, you may have tight hamstrings and typically will have trouble with your overall flexibility. There's a lot you can do to work on this, but the number one way to improve your flexibility isn't rocket science. You need to stretch every day. Even 2 minutes of each position daily can help you get where you want to be. The tuck position is when you bring your knees up to your belly button and round out your back. You can work on tuck jumps and a sitting tuck to make sure you have the basic shape mastered. We often build tuck rock and rolls into our beginner programs to demonstrate how to maintain the tuck shape in a tight little ball. Next up, splits. We always start with a strong lunge position. A good lunge starts with your leg extended in front of you with your chest up. Leaving the foot in place, push your hips forward and stretch your back hip flexor. A common mistake we see is a lunge with the knee going over the front foot. This limits the stretch on the back hip flexor and places unnecessary strain on the knee. A good lunge will set you up for a great split. Remember to always stretch your splits on both sides. There's no such thing as a bad leg in gymnastics, and stretching only your good side can lead to imbalances that cause injuries down the line. Let's move on to bridges. In our gym, we use the term bridge ready to tell our gymnasts to lay on their back, get their feet together, and hands ready. When the gymnast pushes into a beginner bridge, you'll often see a lot of errors. The knees will be bent, heels will be off the ground, arms may be bent, etc. That's okay. The goal with a beginner bridge is to get the basic shape and identify areas of improvement. As strength and flexibility improves, gymnasts will be able to extend into a full bridge with legs straight, heels flat, and shoulders pushing over the hands. Stressing the importance of pushing the shoulders past the hands and opening up the armpits will help your gymnast when the time comes for kickovers and more advanced bridge skills. Next, we have some other basic shapes that we use in warm-up and introduce to even our youngest beginner gymnasts. For our tent shape, we always start in a pike and walk our hands out. Some kids will walk their hands out too far and end up in a push-up position. I always tell my little ones, if you can't camp underneath you, it's not a tent. This helps them remember to keep the pike in their tent positions. From our tent position, we lift up one leg to make a tiger tail. A tiger roar is optional, but encouraged in our gym. Since the tiger tail is a shape used for future handstands, work on getting a straight line from your toes to your hands. A squat is another great shape to teach beginners. You'll get a lot of froggies who want to put their hands in the middle and their knees out to the sides. A squat in gymnastics is with your knees together and your hands placed firmly next to your feet. A slightly more advanced shape for beginners is the V. We only do these in our classes after we've introduced the hollow shape. The V is a great shape for activating ab muscles and teaching basic balance. Last but not least, let's learn how to stick our landings. Teaching a good stick is for more than just creating that big finish gymnasts are so well known for. A good stick is the safest way to land our skills in gymnastics, and it teaches our little ones to not shuffle their feet or walk off without caring. In our gym, a skill in gymnastics isn't finished until it's finished, and that means sticking the landing with a big ta-da at the end. Thank you so much for tuning into our channel to learn the basic shapes, forms, and fundamentals of gymnastics. In our next lessons, Vicky will be demonstrating rolls, jumps, flips, and more. Be sure to subscribe and visit us online at www.gymnasticity.com. This has been a presentation by GymnastiCity, the world's largest database of USAG competitive programs. Thanks for watching!